Hello and welcome to the Grammaticus tutorial on letter sequences. Today we're going to look at this type of question which often appears on the Lincolnshire GL verbal reasoning paper. Let's have a little look at the instructions we've been given to start with. The instructions say find the next pair of letters for each series. Now you can see that I've drawn a pencil line down between each of the letter pairs that we have been given. Now what that helps me do is to help concentrate on each letter independently of the other in the pair. So to start with, we're going to consider the first letter in each pair and think about the sequence that it creates. We've got B to D to F to H. Okay, if we find B on our alphabet at the top here, we can see that B to D is 2 jumps. And then if we move our finger along to D, we can see how many jumps it is from D to F. D to F is another 2 jumps, and F to H is another 2 jumps. So I can see that my sequence is going forward in jumps of 2. So from H to forward is going to get me to the letter J. So I'm going to cross out any letters that don't start, any of the pairs that don't start with the letter J. Now we're going to go to the second in the pair. We're going to find the sequence from E, G to I to K. So if we find E on our alphabet at the top here, E to G is forward 2, G to I is again forward 2, I to K forward 2, so I'm going to go forward 2 again. K to 1, 2 is going to get me to the letter M. So my new pair of letters to complete this series is going to be JM. So I'm going to circle that and make sure that I complete my multiple choice answer sheet with JM. Once I've put that on my answer sheet, I'm going to cross off question number 1 and I can move on to the second question. Okay. Now again, I need to separate my pairs of letters to make sure that I'm concentrating on the right one each time. I'm going to take the first in the series, I've got K, and I'm going to be looking at the jump I've got to do to get from K to N. K to N is forward 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to write 3 up there just to keep that in mind. Then we're going to be doing N to O. N to O is forward 1. O to R is forward 1, 2, 3. R to S is forward 1. Now I can see this time, rather than having plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, I've got an alternating pattern. Plus 3, plus 1, plus 3, plus 1. So the next in the sequence is going to be plus 3. So I'm going to go to S and I'm going to add 3. 1, 2, 3 gets me to the letter V. If I have a look at my multiple choice answers down here, I can see that I've only got one that starts with V. So I've actually got to that answer quite quickly. So I can mark that on my multiple choice answer paper, and then once I've filled that in, I can cross off question 2. Okay, let's have a look at another question. We've got question number 3 here. Okay, so we're going to split those in half again. And we're going to consider what we're going to do to get from S to Q. So S to Q is back 2. Q to N is back 3. N to J is going to be back 1, 2, 3, 4. And J, well, I've got to have a look at what I've done. Of course, that was minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. So I'm going to be taking away 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets me to the letter E. So if we have a little look at our multiple choice answers down here, we can see we've got 2 that have an E at the start. So it's either going to be EG or EF. Let's consider the second in the sequence now. So we've got T, O, K, H. So T to O is back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to put minus 5 down there. O to K is going to be back 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 4. K to H is going to be back 1, 2, 3. So I've got minus 4, minus 3, minus 2. So minus 5, minus 4, minus 3. So the next one is going to be minus 2. So H minus 2 is going to be 1, 2. It gets me to F. So my next pair of letters in my series is going to be EF. I'm going to mark that on my multiple choice answer sheet. And once I've done that, I'm going to cross out question number 3. Okay, let's have a look at our final example. Well, you might look at this and you might think, oh, they've made a mistake. I've got 2 that have got G, so there isn't a sequence. But we can have a sequence that actually starts with 0, or that 0 can be included in the series. So don't worry about that. So we're going to go from G to G. G to G is 0. Okay, then G to F. We find G. To get to F, we're minus 1. F to D is minus 1, 2. D to A is minus 1, 2, 3. So we're at minus 3. So once we get to A, we're going to then be minusing 4. Now, you might be thinking, okay, what do I do? I'm here. How do I take away 4? I've got a blank bit here. Remember, when you're completing any of these alphabet type questions, you actually have a rolling alphabet. So once we finish the alphabet, it starts again A, B, C, D, E. So if you imagine if it's rolling, in front of A, B, C, D, E, we would have W, X, Y, and Z. So we're at A, and we're going to take away 4. So if we take away 4 from A, well, we can go to the end here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you're not confident enough to do that, you can always write a little bit of the alphabet here and go back for 1, 2, 3, 4, which brings me to the letter W. So I'm going to cross off any that don't start with the W. Right, let's have a look at the second in the pair. So we're going to go J to K. J to K is forward 1, so that's plus 1. K to K, again we've got that 0. K to J, we're going backwards this time, so it's minus 1. J to H, minus 2. And then we're going to have to work out what minus 3 is from H. 1, 2, 3 gets me to E. So I know that the final letter in the pair to complete the series is going to be an E. So I'm going to circle WE. I'm going to mark that on my multiple choice answer sheet, and then I can cross that question off. Now, the most questions you'll have to answer on that type of question is probably 6. And more often than not, you will have some where you just have one letter to work out. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to see you again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.